Chapter 3. The King and His Laws, Earthly and Heavenly Rule. Every kingdom is built on laws, every king governs through decrees, and every citizen is expected to live under the rule of their sovereign. But what makes God's kingdom different from earthly governments is not just the scope of His authority, it's the source of it. God is not an elected official. He cannot be overthrown. He is not powerful because people believe in Him. He is powerful because He created the territory, the people, and the system itself. He is not just King of Heaven. He is the owner of all creation. And His word is not just advice, it is law. The Lord has established His throne in the heavens, and His kingdom rules over all. Psalm 103:19. Earthly kingdoms govern through control. God's kingdom governs through covenant. In earthly kingdoms, the king rules by maintaining power and fear. He enforces loyalty. He demands allegiance. The people obey because the consequences of rebellion are harsh: exile, imprisonment, even death. The king's laws exist to protect the system. Disobedience is a threat to the throne, so treason is punished severely. But in God's kingdom, love precedes law. Grace precedes governance. He doesn't force loyalty, He invites allegiance through covenant. Where earthly laws are designed to protect the king, God's laws are designed to protect the citizen. His commands are not burdens. They are boundaries that preserve freedom, peace, order, and purpose. The law of the Lord is perfect, refreshing the soul. Psalm 19:7. Law is the language of government. To function as an ambassador, you must understand that the kingdom of God is not driven by emotion. It is governed by legal principles. Love is the motive. Law is the method. God does not rule arbitrarily. He rules by His word. And in His government, His laws reveal His character. His commands define citizenship. His promises operate as covenants. His judgments flow from righteousness. You cannot separate God's love from God's law. To represent Him faithfully, you must submit to both. Treason, the crime of the fall. When Adam and Eve disobeyed God's command, they didn't just sin, they committed treason. They violated the constitution of heaven. They broke covenant with the king. Treason is not just disobedience, it's rebellion against the structure and authority of the kingdom. And in every kingdom, the penalty for treason is exile. That's why Adam and Eve weren't simply corrected, they were removed. Because to remain in the presence of the king while living in rebellion would have compromised the justice of the kingdom. God delegates authority through law. One of the signs of a true kingdom is that the king delegates his authority to his representatives. God gave Adam dominion over the earth. He entrusted man with the ability to make decisions, govern creation, and build culture, all under submission to the divine law. But the moment man rejected God's authority, he also forfeited his own. You cannot represent a kingdom you refuse to submit to. This is why returning to God isn't just emotional, it's legal. It's an act of surrender. It's a re-acknowledgement of God's rule and a willing submission to His laws. If you love me, keep my commandments. John 14:15. Love and law go hand in hand. Citizens of heaven live by a higher standard. The laws of God's kingdom are not concerned with political power or economic gain. They are rooted in righteousness, justice, and mercy. They are built on love and expressed through obedience. You cannot live like the world and claim to represent the king. An ambassador lives according to the laws of their homeland, not the culture of the country they are stationed in. So if you're a citizen of heaven, that means you honor when others slander. You forgive when others retaliate. You walk in purity when others indulge. You pursue justice when others look away. This isn't legalism, it's loyalty. This isn't performance, it's covenantal alignment. Law is not meant to limit you, it's meant to position you. God's laws are not barriers, they are boundaries of blessing. They don't limit you, they elevate you. The law tells you who you are. It shapes your conscience. It clarifies your assignment. It trains you in the culture of heaven. You can't live like a king until you think like one, and you can't think like royalty until your mind has been trained by the king's commands. Oh, how I love your law. I meditate on it all day long. Psalm 119:97. You're not just under law, you're trusted with it. God has not just called you to obey his laws, he has entrusted you to represent them. You are a living witness of his kingdom. You are a reflection of his government, and your life is the embassy where people encounter his truth. You don't carry the law like a burden, you carry it like a torch, because in a lawless world, a lawful citizen shines like light. Before you can understand the importance of internalizing the king's constitution, you must first grasp the weight of his laws and the authority they carry. In Chapter 3, we've explored the nature of God's kingdom, how his laws are not mere suggestions, but divine decrees that govern both heaven and earth. These laws are reflections of his character, designed not to oppress, but to liberate, guiding us toward righteousness and peace. But understanding these laws intellectually is only the beginning. To truly live as citizens of his kingdom, we must internalize his word, allowing it to transform our hearts and minds. This internalization is not about rote memorization. It's about letting God's statutes become the very fabric of our being, influencing every thought, decision, and action. In the next chapter, we delve into the significance of understanding and memorizing the constitution of God's government, the Bible, and how it empowers us to live as true ambassadors of his kingdom.